Thank you so much. I'm delighted now to be introducing a delegation of Iranian youths representing the future and hope of the nation. Please do welcome them, together with their speakers, Alia Amanpour and Behrang Borhani.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, my heroes at Ashraf 3, Mrs. Rajavi, it is both a privilege and honor to address this conference today. Today I stand before you not only a second-generation Iranian American, but also a witness and participant in a movement that has profoundly impacted my identity, the PMOI. In the 1980s, after Khomeini unleashed his reign of terror, my parents fled Iran. However, they remained steadfast in their fight for a free Iran and instilled in me a legacy of resistance against tyranny. It was not until a transformative journey to Washington, D.C. nearly 15 years ago where I truly connected to the movement that my parents fought so bravely and so passionately for. In D.C., I immersed myself in the endeavors of the PMOI, working with the media and legislative bodies. I learned intimately the sacrifices of the members of the PMOI, the tortures, the imprisonments, the mass executions of the 1980s, and the devastating 1988 massacre. These weren't just stories from a distant past. These were poignant narratives of resilience and bravery, echoed in the lives of those who had lost loved ones at the hands of the regime's cruelty. From the stoic streets of California to the bustling avenues in New York to the state streets of Washington, I stood side by side a vibrant diaspora at rallies, sit-ins, press conferences, hunger strikes, including for 72 days outside of the White House. We advocated for the protection of PMOI members, first at Camp Ashraf, then at Camp Liberty, and finally until their relocation to Ashraf 3 in Albania. Whether under the blistering sun or amid biting frosts, our message always remained clear. We reject all forms of dictatorship, whether religious or monarchic, and we support a free, democratic, and secular Iran. Working with the media, I confronted relentless attempts by the media to malign the PMOI, including ridiculous stories of child soldiers, all designed to isolate and discredit the movement. Yet with each false claim, my resolve only strengthened. It fueled my commitment to the truth and to honor the sacrifices of those who came before us. To the architects of oppression in Tehran, hear this. No amount of falsehood can dampen the spirit of this generation. Across continents, young Iranians are rallying to the ideals of the PMOI, inspired more with every attempt to undermine us. As the renowned writer and politician Victor Hugo once said, "Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come." The era of a democratic and secular Iran is upon us, and along with the PMOI, NCRI, and the valiant youth in Iran, we are unstoppable. Mrs. Rajavi, you have called upon us to amplify our efforts, to fight harder and reach further. I promise you, and to all those listening, we are ready. We will not stop until our nation is liberated. As you have often reminded us, we can and we must. Mi tavan va bayad. Thank you.
It is truly an honor to be here and to be in your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alia Amanpour. I stand before you as a student activist, as an Iranian American, and as a voice among the many who are inspired by the brave resistance units in Iran. I stand before you as the granddaughter of a martyr of the Mujahideen Khalq, a freedom fighter who paid the ultimate price so that his children and grandchildren may one day return to their homeland without fear of oppression nor violence. Let his martyrdom, and that of hundreds of thousands of others, be a symbol of the light and of the day that is meant to awaken our people. As a student in the United States, where the pursuit of education often seems like a linear path towards personal successes, we sometimes forget that being a student carries a profound potential for collective change and action. It is in this spirit that we, as student activists, find deep resonance and solidarity with the brave resistance units in Iran, especially the youth. To be a student activist is to engage in a struggle that extends far beyond the confines of the classroom. It is to recognize that our quest for knowledge is deeply intertwined with the responsibility to advocate for justice and freedom. As we study the pages of history, we see countless instances in which the spirit of the youth has ignited movements, challenged injustices, and shaped the destiny of its nation. The Iranian youth are no exception to this. We are witnessing history being written once again by those who refuse to accept oppression and tyranny. I look to each and every student in Iran as my own colleague, classmate, and comrade. To the brave students in Iran, I see you, I am inspired by you every day of my life, and I will never stop fighting with you. As student activists outside of Iran, the struggle within Iran is not a distant echo. It is a call to action. It compels us to consider our place in the global arena. It compels us to use our platforms, however small, to uplift the very voices that the authoritarian regime attempts to stifle and silence. In our universities, we are equipped with the ability to mobilize with knowledge. Let us use this privilege to support the voices who are on the front lines fighting for their humanitarian rights. To watch the resistance units in Iran is to bear witness to the power of collective action. Despite the harshest of circumstances, they continue to organize, to resist, and to envision a future where justice prevails. This is a powerful reminder that change comes from the courage to dream and the audacity to demand it. This is a powerful reminder As student activists, we must take this lesson to heart and commit ourselves to stand in solidarity with all who are oppressed. We must remember that activism is not confined to any one space nor region. The fight for freedom in Iran is interconnected with the fight for freedom everywhere. A free Iran is deeply intertwined with a truly liberated Palestine, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and all other places that the Iranian regime has exploited through proxy wars to spread its terror. Is essential to a truly liberated Middle East. In closing, I urge each one of us to embrace our commitment to pursuing a free Iran with a renewed vigor. Let the spirit of the Iranian people ignite a fire within us, a fire that drives us to fight for a world where justice and freedom are not privileges, but rights that every human being enjoys. Thank you.